Good day. How are you? I'm good. Mr. Tabo Maupa again for security training. I did module 10 the last time, which is correct use of a fire extinguisher. So it is followed by module 11, grade E, titled Basic Radio and Telephone Communications. We are almost done, only 2 modules to go after this one, because grade E has got 13 modules. So we are left with legal aspects and industrial relations, which we are going to do tomorrow. Today we're going to be dealing with basic radio and telephone communications. When they say radio, they mean this thing here, which is part of the equipment of cars. We call it a two-way radio. So when they say basic radio and telephone communications, they mean this device, which we use for communication on a daily basis in the security industry. Then number 2, we are going to learn a little bit about the ethics of how to use a telephone, which is a landline, not a mobile or a cellular phone, but a landline. All right. Let's start with the objectives of the module, which is basic radio and telephone communications. We begin number 1 with the telephone. The objective on the telephone issue is, number 1, the security officer must be able to answer a telephone call correctly. Number 2, must be able to send a message correctly over the phone. Number 3, must be able to receive a message correctly over the phone. Those are the objectives under the telephone. Number 2, we come to the radio. Right? This radio, the objectives are: the security officer must be able to demonstrate that he can communicate over the radio. He knows how to send and receive messages correctly, and also the application of phonetic where necessary. Right. Those are the objectives. We come now to the aim. What is the aim of this module? To make sure that communication runs smooth within the security industry using the radio or the telephone, and making sure that the messages are sent and received correctly. Because that is the aim of this module. Right. We start now with the telephone. People who went to business school or did business management studies or even varsity may understand something that is called telephone etiquette when it comes to communication, because this module is mainly concerned with the communication, day-to-day running of operations in the security industry. We have to communicate. Right. The telephone itself, there are certain principles that has been laid down which you must follow when you are using a landline telephone. You don't speak the way you want. Like on our cellular phones, if somebody calls, then you say, yo, what's up, dog? You don't answer a landline, which is a business telephone, in that manner. Hence, they put or laid down what we call telephone etiquette or telephone manners, which is the principles of telephone procedure, how you must go about it when you are using the landline. Number 1 is discipline. Why discipline? Good behavior, right? 2, voice procedure. That's why you see some receptionists, they actually change the tone of their voices just to sound nice. It's about the voice procedure. Number 3, transmission of message. It must be clear, right? Then number 4, tact. Number 5, courtesy. 6, patience. 7, confidence. 8, incoming calls. All incoming calls, we must handle them. Not to say I'm going to see it after lunch or whatever some other people like to do, because it might be an emergency. They need your help somewhere. So those are what we call the principles of telephone procedure. Number 1, discipline. 2, voice procedure. 3, transmission of message. 4, tact. 5, courtesy. 6, patience. 7, speed and accuracy. 8, incoming calls. Those are the principles of telephone procedure. Right. On the telephone now is the only part that we deal with about the principles, because that's where the telephone ethics and telephone manners come from. So on the telephone, it only ends there on the principles of telephone procedure. And the question is only one when you come to your final examination, which says list 5 principles of telephone procedure. Then you just take discipline, voice procedure, transmission of message, speed and accuracy, tact, courtesy, patience, confidence, incoming calls. You just pick 5 out of those 9 or 10 that you've been given. Right. Then we come now to the radio. There is what we call care and handling of the radio. How to look after it. How do you behave when you are using a radio? Right. We're going to start now by focusing on the parts of the radio, because when you come to care and handling of a radio, they talk about things that you check when you book out a radio. Right. What is to book out a radio? To book out a radio, in the morning, every security officer, when you report on duty, there is what we call the occurrence book. He writes his name down there. Duty on, SO, Tabo, Maupa, or whatever his name is, and company number, then you sign this is just to report for duty. You have to, all the activities on the side, they must go into the occurrence book. Even when you knock off, you also write duty off, SO, Tabo, Maupa. SO is simple abbreviation, which means security officer. Then you put your company number and your signature. That's how it works. So when you book out a radio, after writing your name that you are going on the shift, then you write the equipment that you received from the outgoing shift. That's where the radio come in. So that's where you check those things when booking it on your name in the occurrence book to say, I'm going to use this radio for the remainder of my shift today, taking it over from security officer so and so. So now you start checking before you actually accept it. Number 1, you check the antenna, which is this one, the aerial here. Take it off. You can actually screw it in and out. Check if it's right, working perfectly, right? Then when you're done, then you go to the on and off switch, which is the first switch, you see? Why? Because I've put it in, right? And then the on and off switch is also the volume switch, because you can do like this, then the volume is down. So you check the antenna, then you come to on and off switch and volume on the same button. Then after that, you go to channel. Power on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has got 16 different channels. So you check the channel if it's working properly, right? So you check the antenna, which is the aerial. Then you come to the on and off switch, which is the on and off switch and the volume on a single button. Then you check the channel. Then after that, you must now check the squelch. Power on. Squelch is the one that make you send the message. When you press the squelch, you see, it lights red there. I'm ready to send a message. Then it's green there on the other radio. This is the one receiving the message. We call that a squelch. If you stop pressing it, then the microphone is not open, and then the next person on another two-way radio won't be able to hear you. So you must press this button. That's what we call a squelch. Right. Then after that, you see the squelch is working. Then you open at the back. Please change battery. You open at the back. You check the battery. The battery is also fine. Then you check the radio number. Please change battery. Radio number is right here underneath, right? Then you check the condition of the radio, general condition of the radio. Doesn't it have scratches, damage, and so on? So those are the things that you must check before you write it under your name or you book out a radio. To book out a radio is simply to write it in the OB book under your name to say, I have received this equipment from security officer so and so, I'm going to use it for the rest of the day. Then you check those things we're talking about. Number 1, antenna. 2, on and off switch. 3, volume. 4, channel. 5, squelch. 6, battery. 7, radio number. 8, condition of radio. Those are the things that you check when booking out a radio. This is falling under care and handling of a radio. So your question there also is going to say, list 5 things to check when booking out a radio. And then you just go, number 1, antenna. 2, on and off switch. 3, volume. 4, channel. 5, squelch. 6, radio number. 7, battery. 8, condition of radio. So you just pick 5 out of those 8. All right. We're done now with the things to check. Then we come now to the do's and don'ts when using a radio. The things that you are supposed to do as opposed to the things that you are not supposed to do when you are using a radio. But it's all in one list. Like number 1, do not play music in the background, which means when you are using a radio, if you press the squelch and you're playing music on your phone, it will be going through to all the officers on the same channel. So do not play music in the background. Number 2, do not use abusive language over the air. To shout, hey, futsek, hey, what, and so on. Shit. Do not use abusive language over the air. Number 3, keep radio room secure. Usually the radios are charged in the guardroom. So make sure nobody who doesn't have permission to go there or authority to go there, because if they can steal a radio, then they've stolen the whole operation. So keep radio room secure. Number 4, use it for transmission of official messages only. No private chats on the radio, because it's specifically for duties. Right. Number 5, do not handle it by the aerial or swing it by the aerial. Hold it by the aerial or swing it like this. You will damage the aerial, then at the end messages won't go in. Number 5, protect it from the rain, because it can be water damaged. A radio is like a cell phone. It's made out of copper components, and copper and water, they don't mix. It will corrode, and then it will affect the radio in a great way. So you must protect it from the rain. Avoid even water into the radio. Then do not put it down in dust or in sun. It can also help to damage the radio. And then keep the radio in its pouch. These radios, they come with pouches. But most security officers, they don't want to use those pouches because they've got a fastener. And in case of emergency, the fastener gives a problem to open it. That's why they hang it on their belts, just like that. So, but you have to keep it in its pouch. All right. So those are what we call the do's and don'ts when using a radio. Number 1, do not play music in the background. 2, do not use abusive language over the air. 3, keep radio room secure. 4, use it for official messages only. 5, protect it from the rain. 6, do not put it down in dust or in sun. 7, use it for official messages only. 8, treat it as technical equipment and handle it with care. So those are the do's and don'ts when using a radio. Right. Then we come now to what we call the common words and phrases in radio communication. I'm sure most of us, if we go to police stations or maybe where security are doing their operations, even the army, maybe you can hear a little bit of radio communication here and there. Right. They are using certain words and phrases which have been selected as being the good ones, or the most convenient ones to use. The word over simply means I'm expecting an answer. So this one takes the radio and calls Sierra 1, come in for Sierra 2, over. It means he's expecting Sierra 1 to come back to him. Right. Then if you say out, it means conversation finished or we are done. Right. And if you say Roger, it simply means I have received and understood your message. Right? And if somebody mentions something like CITREP, it means situation report that is required. Right? Then we have got what we call Mayday. If they call Mayday, it's an emergency. It warrants for the police to go there, the firefighters to go there, disaster management to go. Mayday, it's an emergency, which is a great danger. Right. And then we've got a term when somebody says, say again over the radio, is trying to say, repeat your message. Then if you are the one who got say again, before you say what you want to say again, you must say, I say again, which means I'm repeating my message. Right. Then we've got what we call relay. Relay, it's like 3 people have got radios. Maybe they are on the same side, on the same channel. All right. They are communicating the situation report, everything, the whole day. All of a sudden, because radios are using radioactivity, which is networks, just like cell phones. Sometimes there's no network. So maybe you find the second person, the first person and the third person can't communicate. But second person and third person can communicate. So if first person wants to send a message to the third person, he can send it via second person, because him and the third person are still communicating. That's what we call relay. Pass the message through to a third party. Right. Then we come now to what they call security of communications, where they say the enemy listens, makes every effort to listen to whatever conversation we have. So we have to safeguard all the messages or the information that we send over the air. Right. What type of information they're talking about? They're talking about information from delicate sources, information of a classified nature, movement of bullion and cash. Bullion is gold and cash, right? And then intentions of future operations. Those are some of the information that must be kept a secret. And the use of phonetic, where there is a misunderstanding, is also like encouraged there, so as to disguise the information that you are sending through. Right. Then we come now to what we call the principles of radio procedure. You remember we did principles of telephone procedure. Radio has got also principles. Right. The principles of good radio procedure are based on 2 keywords. Number 1, BASS, which is BASS. Number 2, RSVP. What does BASS mean? B, it means message must be brief and accurate. Accurate, it means it must be on point, exactly what you want to convey. The first S is for security, which means never transmit classified information unless it is disguised in some way. That's why I was saying the use of phonetic is actually quite encouraged there. Then the second S for speed. Do not rush the message, because the receiver might want to write down something or he might not understand. Right. Then we come to the second keyword, which is RSVP. Not the RSVP for the letters and so. This one is on its own. R stands for rhythm, which means the rhythm that you use when using a radio. Sierra 1 coming for Sierra 2 over. That's the rhythm. Sierra 2, Sierra 2 on standby, send your message over. That's the rhythm they are talking about. It's like a style of doing stuff. Right. In number 2, again, speed. Do not rush the message. That is RS. Right. In V, your voice must be slightly higher than normal, louder than normal. So which means you do not shout, but just speak a little bit louder than normal. And then the pitch of your voice also must be a little bit higher than normal. That's what we call RSVP. So those are the 2 keywords. Keyword number 1, BASS, B for brief, A for accurate, first S for security, second S for speed. RSVP, R for rhythm, S for speed, V for voice, P for pitch. Those are what we call the principles of good radio procedure. When you are applying your radio skills and you base it on those 2 keywords, you'll be just perfect. Right. Now that we have discovered that communication is the key, it's like the lifeblood of security. This thing must be encouraged on a day-to-day basis. If everybody practices good radio and telephone communications, our operations will run smooth. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching my channel. God bless you. I'm bringing module 12 tomorrow, which is basic legal aspect. Thank you.